Hey, what's up? It's another Mix It Up podcast. I'm your host, Joel Hawkins, and of course, H is not here today again because it's a solo mission.
The solo mission.
Oh, that's nice. Anyways, today we're going to be discussing something a little bit different than what we normally do, but it's going to be very common because in reality, I kind of want to make these videos just so I have to stop explaining it to people. So today I'm going to teach you essentially the different types and forms of logos that exist for your business when it comes to branding. That way you have better knowledge when it comes to talking with your designer or someone who's going to create it, or if you're learning yourself. I'm going to give you a couple samples just so you can understand. Like an emblem logo would be something where the name is kind of embezzled into... Embezzled, that's a horrible word to use. I'm sorry, designers who come across this video. That was absolutely embedded is what I meant to say. But those are a lot like sigils, crests, you know, that sort of thing is what an emblem logo. A perfect example would be like Starbucks, Harley Davidson would be one. I mean, there's so many of them that really use that kind of, it just kind of showcases like kind of an official seal. You know, it's a seal, it's a crest, it's a sigil, you know, that's what it is. It's that. I gave you some samples, but I'll show some up here, over here, or in front of you, somewhere. Anyways, you'll see them here. Another one would be a monogram or a letter mark. Now, if you have a company that has a ridiculously long name, then you might have a moniker or a monogram of it, and that would be what your logo ends up looking like. For instance, HBO would be one, NASA would be one, IBM would be one. Oh, what's another one? There's so many of them. I mean, so many companies use this because if their name is ridiculously long, it's not as identifiable and iconic. But these are very useful when trying to create a brand from your actual name without having to actually spell out your entire name. Another interesting logo type would be wordmark. These are very, very common. A lot of it is using somewhat more unique fonts. Some people will use like signature fonts and things of that nature, which, by the way, a signature logo is a totally different thing. That's very much a niche thing. Some people, I still consider it a word mark, but some people would actually have that as a separate, because there are a lot of people that will sign their names and make that their logo and put underneath it a tagline that will say their business, but end up having, like, let's say they do like a photography studio and they have like a big thick line that's writing out their name. It looks kind of like a script font, but it looks a little bit more handwritten. And then it had, for its punctuation, it had little footprints, you know, because it was called footprints photography. I don't know. So that may be another thing that you can do. The next would be pictorial. Pictorial is something that is used drastically a lot, especially in this modern day and age when it comes to like social media and app development and things of that nature. We're talking about Apple. We're talking about, which is just the apple with a bite out of it. We're talking about Target, which is just two circles. Well, I guess no, not two circles. You know what I mean? It's a target. It looks like what a target looks like. They don't have words. It's just a pictorial. And it's kind of everything that they do. Again, it's something that can stand on its own. In modern day times with apps and development, websites and tablet and everything else, it's just an iconic representation. Like Facebook would be the little F and Twitter would be the bird. Well, I guess Twitter doesn't exist. X would be just an X. Whatever. But they can leave those little logos, and that's your pictorial mark. Then you have a combo, which is what the bulk of logos end up being, is a combo pictorial mark, which is like the little apple with the bite and taken out, and then it says Apple in their font, you know? It's specific to that brand. And if you're starting out, that's kind of what you end up having to do, because otherwise, if you just make like a cool little logo and pin it up, if people see that, you're not widely known enough that people will recognize it. So having to have the combo of the word mark name underneath it makes more sense logistically in the future when it comes to branding. Next would be abstract marks. Now, I've had a lot of clients who end up doing abstract marks. Usually kind of go against what they're trying to do there, simply putting it, because abstract marks are something where it's more of a geometrical shape. It's more like Mitsubishi's logo. It's just three diamonds that are coming together in a point, like in a triangle. So, it's that sort of thing. Adidas would be three, almost looks like feathers, but they're not really. And looking at logos like that, you kind of understand that they're just kind of like brand awareness type icons. They're using pictorial, and usually you end up using word mark as well involved. It's more like the combos, but they're abstract as in they don't have anything to really do with the business. Adidas makes a lot of different types of clothes, but they don't really make three leaves. They don't really make anything that looks like that or anything resembling that. That's just their brand. Like if you're a real estate agent, you might have a house on your stuff. But if you're a company that owns a real estate agency and you own a piece of the oil industry and you make paper products, you're not necessarily going to have a company logo that's going to affiliate all of those things, because it would be damn near impossible to make something that would actually cover all three of those things. And hey, in the comments, if you figure out something that can cover all three of those things, I'll be madly impressed. Madly impressed. Next would be mascots. That's really easy to understand. If you want like a cartoonish figure or a mascot or something, like honestly, most of the sports teams that exist out there use mascot logos. I'm sorry, designers. I know if there's graphic designers watching this, they're cringing at about 20% of this, because most likely I'm not saying everything that everyone would agree with 100%, but this is just my experience that I've had. So working in graphic design and web design for 25 years. I'm getting old. No, 20, almost 25 years, 24 years. Jeez. I'm doing this too long, bros. But, in a couple days, we'll release another video where it's more, I'm going to basically walk you through 5 things you need to do when it comes to logo and branding. So look out for that video that's coming up. As for this, I had a good time talking with you guys. Not really talking with you. I'm just talking, y'all are listening, but it's cool that you came by and stopped by. But we'll put out more of these videos. We'll end up having a couple videos on SEO optimization for your website. We'll have a couple videos when it comes to video post-production, pre-production. We'll even have maybe some guests in to discuss some other things, like maybe get Kareem from magicmotionpictures.com and have him talk about XR, virtual production. That'd be kind of cool. And we can discuss some cool things. Maybe we'll even watch a couple scenes in movies where we talk about the back end, how they did it. You won't know all the time, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. We'll figure it out. We'll just check it out. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when new things are coming out. Check out mk5store.com or check us out on mk5studios.com if you are in need of graphic design, web design, or video pre and post production. We also do printables through Proforma, which high-res Proforma, which is located out of Mission Viejo, California. Shout out to Terry Tolmack, because that's her business. But yeah, they do everything from promotional materials to, just large swaths of different things. I'm talking like wall murals inside your office to make it look really dope, or window graphics, perforated windows, window graphics, they do even something as simple, it's not simple, but something as simple as like putting your logo in chocolate form to put in your lobby for customers and clientele. Even something as simple as that. They do everything. They print and make and create everything. They even have manufacturing ability, and they're now offering, and this is pretty crazy, being able that if you purchase inventory for, let's say, a clothing line you want to start, they actually have the managing facilities to house, ship, receive, handle basically all the back end of a clothing store. And you just sit back and collect money, setup cost, obviously you're paying for, but it's pretty crazy. It's pretty insane. That company, Proforma, is number 2, I think, in the world for promotional materials. They do so much stuff. And I think they have I don't know how many franchises they have worldwide. There's a lot of them. Because it's a huge network. So many vendors and printers, installers, manufacturers. So much stuff. I just basically did a free sponsorship for it. There you go, Terry. It's a free sponsorship. All for you, buddy. Anyways, better health, better wealth, my friends. Have a great day. Just live life and be happy.